Hello, welcome to Confidence Through Cabaret. My name is Heather.
And I'm Ryan.
And we are so excited that you're here. And today is Confidence with Coffee. Have you got your coffee, Ryan?
I do. Do you? I have my Talk Toxic.
I have my 3D Winnie the Pooh.
Talk
Toxic. Oh, talk toxic to us.
Talk Toxic. This was my old drag interview series that I did.
Nice.
A friend of mine made this for me.
That's cute. Speaking of old interview series, we have a new interview series.
We do.
It is the Confidence Through Cabaret podcast. And we are so excited to be talking Confidence Through Coffee today, all about the amazing Alys Zaffre.
Yes.
Who is a personal friend of ours, a personal hero of mine, and just such a beautiful, mindful, melting magic movement, all the M's of a practitioner.
Yeah.
So check out Podbean, Confidence Through Cabaret, anywhere you get your podcast from, or you can go to the landing page, confidencethroughcabaret.com, and all of our content is there. You'll find our video logs there, you'll find our podcast there, you'll find our new blog there, you'll find all kinds of stuff there. So, or anywhere we're on socials and Confidence Through Cabaret. So we were talking about movement, and it was interesting because Alys had us do an exercise during that podcast, and that was 4.5 minutes.
It was indeed. It was a lovely 4.5 minutes, though.
Yeah, but it was interesting. So I've done Alys's classes before, and I adored your experience of it as a first timer, because it reminded me of my first time.
Right.
What happened for you? So Alys had us play a piece of music, and if you check out the podcast, you'll get all the details on the music. We can't play it here because copyright. But also because we like to play the music for ourselves in our own room, which is quite different to hearing it online, like coming from someone else's speaker. So we played a piece of music, and we just felt into our body. Mm-hmm. So what was that like for you, Ryan?
Well, it was interesting because it was, I mean, in spite of the fact there was obviously a camera on, which does add an element of things to it, an element of pressure to things. It was really interesting because the experience I've had with this has been kind of more formalized in the idea that it's been something like body tracing within burlesque classes, for instance. And this is less about making those lines and about doing that sort of thing, in preparation for stage, as it is for getting in tune with your own processes and, what your body is looking for and wanting. So it was quite interesting to have this kind of moment of like, oh, I should be doing this. And then going, no, I don't need to do that. Actually, that's not what I need to do. I don't have to do anything here. So it was really nice. It was lovely exploration,
Yeah, and I think if you're listening to the podcast or watching the video of it, then you won't be on camera, and you don't need to do this in the mirror or anywhere. You can close your eyes. Exactly. You can do this on your bed, because we were sat in a chair actually. Yeah. But you're right, because when you're body tracing, you're going, oh, look at my arm, and you're highlighting and featuring it, right?
Exactly.
And I do that all the time, and I go, oh, as almost. I think this is going to sound weird, but almost as if in my brain people are watching, and so I have to move in a certain way. I still struggle with that. The only time I'm good with it, to be able to just move to music, is if I'm laying on the floor.
Right, okay.
And I've had to really kind of play with, like, sitting in a chair. That's okay. I confess in the podcast that I lay on my sofa sometimes, but that's fine, because it's not an exercise class as such. But so I stretch out. I have a pole in my living room, so I sometimes I use that. But I always feel like I'm performing then, unless I'm laying on the floor, which is really interesting.
Yeah, that makes sense though. And it's like, because how long have you been doing the class now?
So we started in the first lockdown. So probably, I'd say maybe September we did every week, and now we do every other week.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, it's still a work in progress, and there are some very experienced aerial dancers in that class, and nobody's watching each other. In fact, I don't even have my camera. I use a different part of the room for the music, and then come back to my camera because I can't fit it in my room. But so I know nobody's watching. But it's interesting listening to these, full-time dancers talking about, oh, I don't move that part of my body. And I'm thinking, you dance in the air on equipment. How do you not use parts of your body? But like we can move our upper body and our lower body and not move our waist or our hips.
Yeah. But I think that's the interesting thing about this, is that it's like it puts you in tune with your body, and then when you actually get in tune with your body, there are some really interesting benefits, which is something that Alys talked about specifically actually in the podcast. I think we have a clip. Shall we play a clip?
Oh yes.
Here we go. Let's have a listen.
I feel a lot safer in my body, and I feel a lot more comfortable with who I am as a person. And the way that I have seen it manifest is I feel much more open to people. I'm much more communicative. I'm much more honest. Like things that would have embarrassed or mortified me before, like it's water off a duck's back now. And I never thought I could be in this position. And it has come from influences of dance teachers, of mindfulness practice, of my own practice, and taking on this teaching role has helped solidify all that so much more, because I have to understand what I'm doing in order to be able to explain it to other people. Like say I make a mistake at work, rather than before I'd panic and I'd just be like, straight up, go tell someone this has happened, I'm dealing with this way, done.
So that was Alys talking about her experience of using this kind of movement exploration to get into her body and to reestablish a connection with herself, and sort of saying that it's massively helped her mental health. What do you think about this? Because I know that you've obviously been in this class before for a while. Is this something that you can have experienced yourself as well?
It isn't something that I've experienced myself in terms of improving my own mental health. And I know Alys also talks in the podcast about it improving, like how she is in work as well, and how she handles problem solving now. And when stuff goes wrong, she doesn't worry about it. And I think from Alys's point of view, it's probably about having taught the class that's massively improved that even more than going through the exercises, which of course is helpful. Right. And I think, I always say to people, when you learn something, go teach somebody else. That's when you're really going to learn it. So I think a lot of that has been, about showing up on her stage, which is a small group of, people that she knows, kind of sharing a time together. But she's leading it. So there's a certain amount of, and that's her stage, right? Like stages don't have to be big with a big audience. Stages can also be like just amongst friends and letting ourselves be vulnerable and putting ourselves out there and sharing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think I mean, maybe I'm doing an injustice to Alys, but I think there's a lot of that. I think for me, what it has done, and I guess to answer your question about has it improved mental health, because we do it every other week, so you kind of get out of the rhythm, and then you go, oh, I don't want to do it this week, but then you got to wait 2 weeks. And so lots of times I kind of go, oh, I don't really want to feel in my body. Right. And that's the time when usually you need it the most.
Right. I probably should have said mind-body sort of connection, I suppose, more than specifically mental health, because that's really the thing here. It's like about getting into your body, and then, as you say, if you're sat there going, oh, I don't want to be in my body, then that's the time to do that.
It is. And I always feel glad I've done it.
Yeah.
So it's not like at the end I go, oh, I didn't like that. And then the next time I dread doing it. It's not like that at all. I'm always so happy that I've taken that time to do that mind-body connection, and it is just time for me. And actually anybody listening to this can do it. Put on some music and just feel, so just feel your own hand. Like there's no pressure to that.
Yeah. It's all about those simple steps, those small steps, those first motions, and that's all it takes.
Yeah, Yeah, absolutely. Or if you don't want to feel your own hand, because I was kind of laughing there because I was like, oh, see, that was not okay with me before cabaret. I was like, but feel like, I mean, I'm very tactile anyway. So, like just sit and feel some sort of fabric or,
Yeah.
like, they like my pillow. Sorry, I just want to show you my pillow. No, seriously though, like you could just sit and feel something and listen to music and close your eyes and just feel into that and breathe. Right, that's the place to start. If it's not accessible to you to feel your own body.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or stroke your hair. Well, okay, if you.
I still have hair.
I know, and you do stroke it.
I do.
I think it's fabulous. But even if you didn't, feeling your scalp, it's
exactly,
still
exactly. It's still sensual and it still has its own tactile sensation.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I think being in your body is essential for all of us and our mental health.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not mental health like, oh, that's all here. It's mental health like that's here. That's everything.
About improving that connection, that full connection. Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Yeah, and I think if it's not the cause of, it's certainly a contributor too. If you don't feel your body, and you don't accept it, and you don't feel good in it, and even if you wanted your body to be different, you need to accept it where it is now.
Yeah,
and that will help you to move to where you want it to be. We always say start from where you're strong, and then build to what you want.
Oh no, totally. I absolutely agree. It was really such a pleasure to do that sort of exercise with Alys. And if you're listening or watching this now, then you can go and check out that brand new podcast, which is live on Podbean and anywhere you get your podcasts, but also as Heather says at www.confidencethroughcabaret.com. And you can see that there's a video version of that as well, so you can check it all out behind the scenes. It was really fun to film. It really was.
It really was. And you know what? It was such perfect timing.
Yeah.
Because we have our self-love challenge.
We do. Falling in love with you, February.
Falling in love with you, right? Not doing the Valentine. I mean, do the Valentine's thing if you want for other people, but do it for you.
Exactly.
So join our Confidence Through Cabaret community on Facebook. If you're joining this after Valentine's Day or after the few days before Valentine's Day, doesn't matter. Still join our Confidence Through Cabaret community because it'll still be in the units.
Exactly.
And Ryan and I will be sharing with you daily some of the things that we're doing around falling in love with us. And this is just such a week of indulgence. I'm so excited.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. It's been such a pleasure because we were talking about something wonderful about using your stage. And I think it's important to recognize and to sign off in the only way that we can.
Yes.
Which is a special affirmation, is it not?
It is an affirmation. It is absolutely. So all of our socials are Confidence Through Cabaret, except for Twitter, which is at YBYWYS. And I am on Clubhouse at Heather YBYWYS. And what does it stand for?
It's your body.
Your body.
Your world. Your stage. Thank you so much, everybody. Bye.
Bye.